There is a place on Earth so deep it almost feels impossible. It is called the Mariana Trench, the deepest known part of the ocean. From above, it does not look dramatic at all. If you looked at this part of the Pacific Ocean from space, you would mostly see blue water. No giant hole, no obvious crack, nothing that screams, the deepest place on Earth is hiding here. But beneath the surface, near the Mariana Islands in the western Pacific, the seafloor suddenly drops into a massive underwater trench. It is not just a deep valley, it is one of the most extreme environments on the planet. The Mariana Trench was formed by tectonic plates. One huge plate slowly moves beneath another and sinks down into the Earth. This process is called subduction. Over millions of years, it pulled the seafloor downward and created a long, curved scar in the ocean floor. The deepest part of this trench is called Challenger Deep. It reaches nearly 11 kilometers below the ocean surface. That is difficult to imagine because we are not used to thinking vertically underwater. So here is a better comparison. Mount Everest is the tallest mountain on Earth. But if you placed Mount Everest inside the Mariana Trench, its peak would still be underwater. That is how deep this place is. And the deeper you go, the more alien the ocean becomes. Sunlight disappears long before you reach the bottom. Near the surface, the ocean is bright and full of life powered by sunlight. But after a few hundred meters, the light begins to fade. By the time you reach the deep ocean, there is no sunlight at all. The bottom of the Mariana Trench exists in permanent darkness. The temperature is also extremely cold. There is no warm sunlight, no colorful coral reef, and no gentle blue water like you see near the beach. Down there, everything is dark, cold, quiet-looking, and under extreme pressure. And the pressure is the real monster. At sea level, your body feels one atmosphere of pressure. You do not notice it because you are built for it. But underwater, pressure increases fast. The deeper you go, the more water is stacked above you, pushing down from every direction. At the bottom of Challenger Deep, the pressure is more than 1,000 times stronger than the air pressure at sea level. That is like having the weight of many heavy animals, trucks, or buildings pressing on every tiny part of your body at once. A human could never simply swim there. It is too deep, too dark, too cold, and far too dangerous. Even many submarines could not survive it. Without special engineering, the pressure would crush them. That is why scientists need special deep-sea submersibles. These vehicles are not normal submarines. They are built like tiny pressure-resistant capsules. They need extremely strong hulls, powerful lights, cameras, sensors, and robotic arms. Every part has to survive a place where ordinary machines would fail. But here is the strangest part. Even in those extreme conditions, life still exists. The Mariana Trench is not empty. It is part of what scientists call the Hadal Zone, the deepest region of the ocean, named after Hades, the underworld in Greek mythology. And despite the name, this world is not dead. It is just very different. There are no plants growing from sunlight at the bottom. Instead, much of the food comes from above. Tiny pieces of dead plankton, waste, dust, and organic material slowly fall through the water like underwater snow. Scientists call this marine snow. Most of it gets eaten or broken down before it reaches the deepest trenches. But some particles keep sinking for weeks, drifting down into the darkness. For many deep-sea animals, this falling material is one of the only food sources available. And the animals that live there are strange. Researchers have found amphipods, which look like tiny shrimp-like scavengers. Some deep-sea amphipods can grow much larger than their shallow-water relatives. There are also sea cucumbers, soft-bodied animals that crawl or drift along the seafloor, feeding on tiny particles in the mud. There are microbes, too. Microscopic life forms that can survive where almost nothing else can. Some organisms in deep trenches are adapted to darkness, cold, and pressure in ways that would be deadly to surface life. In parts of the deep ocean, scientists have also observed ghostly snailfish, giant single-celled organisms called xenophyophores, and other creatures that look almost alien. They are not monsters. They are survivors, shaped by one of the harshest habitats on Earth. Life in the trench has to be built differently. Many deep-sea animals do not have big air-filled spaces inside their bodies, because gas-filled spaces would be crushed by pressure. Their bodies are soft, flexible, and adapted to a world where pressure comes from every direction. And even though the bottom looks silent, it is not completely silent. Scientists have recorded sounds from the deepest ocean: earthquakes, distant whales, storms, ships, and other noises can travel through the water. The deepest place on Earth is dark, but it is not disconnected from the rest of the planet. Exploring this world is extremely difficult. Sending a vehicle to the bottom of the Mariana Trench is not like flying a drone in the air. The vehicle has to sink for hours, survive crushing pressure, work in total darkness, collect data, and then return safely to the surface. That is one reason why the trench is still mysterious. We have mapped parts of it, filmed parts of it, and collected samples from it, but much of it remains unexplored. The ocean is huge, and the deepest parts are some of the hardest places on Earth to study. In some ways, the Mariana Trench feels more distant than space. Space is far above us, but the deepest ocean is hidden right here on our own planet. Dark, cold, pressurized, and mostly unseen. The Mariana Trench is not just a deep place. It is a reminder that Earth still has frontiers. Beneath the waves, beyond sunlight, and under impossible pressure, there is still a world we barely understand. And that is what makes the Mariana Trench one of the greatest mysteries on Earth.